All right. We're starting off the live Pro Football Doc Sports Injury Central podcast. Do we have a little echo here? There you go.
Yes. There you
No
go.
more echo. I solved it. See, I'm so tech
You're getting much better. Yes.
For an old guy.
Yeah. I didn't. You heard that part though, right? I didn't say it.
For an old guy. Look, old guys have trouble with tech. Old guys have trouble with sports with physical nature and stamina. See Mike Tyson.
There you go. That's it. I mean, that's a good lead in. I mean, we spoke about for like 20 minutes last podcast, specifically talking about the fight. Let's just rehash what happened and what you saw, Doc.
I'm not a boxing expert, but I do pride myself in, learning and knowing about sports. And this just was no way, as we talked about. Now everyone's like, "Oh, it's obvious. He's 58. He wasn't going to."
Hindsight, yeah.
Like, there's no way he was going to beat Jake Paul. And then our interview with Jim Lampley, who I respect a lot. The 10 and 14 ounce gloves, huge difference. That's why Jake Paul wasn't going to get knocked out by Mike Tyson, and he was going to stay away.
Right.
And Jake Paul wasn't going to knock Tyson out. So for followers of SIC Picks, I get it. We don't do boxing regularly, but we are Sports Injury Central. We did not give out Jake Paul minus 250 because we just thought that 250. Why? Well, that's like taking chalk.
We want to make you money somehow, so there's other ways to hit it.
We
right?
did give out over 6.5 rounds minus 110.
Mm-hmm. It was plus 100 too at some points in the day too.
Okay. And then we gave out Jake Paul decision plus 275.
Correct.
That was the big one. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it worked out. It was fun. But, the other backlash from that is I almost ended up with a face tattoo.
Yes, you have to tell that. Yeah.
Big sports weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson fight, Jake Paul Friday. My son played with a new travel ball team. And he said, "Dad, this is Friday night." He goes, "Dad, if I hit 3 home runs, you have to get a Tyson tattoo." And he meant the face tattoo.
Right.
Not a Mike Tyson tattoo on my
the one right on the yep.
Yeah, the
one that curls around the eye. Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, "Okay, deal."
Let's preface this. How many career home runs does Davis have?
The same number I have, 0.
Yeah. So you went into this kind of comfortable, I guess. Right?
I was like, sure, I'll get a face tattoo, son. You hit 3 home runs.
Right.
Let's go this weekend for your new travel ball team. Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out it was a relatively small field. His first at bat, he hit off the top of the fence for a double.
And drove in some runs, yeah.
His second at bat, he hit a grand slam home run, his first ever. That cleared the fence. It was a smaller field, whatever, but still, it was a good hit. And I was like, I'm getting kind of worried here.
You're at 1.5 right now. Yeah. That's you were very close. Yeah.
But I was safe in the end. And you know what? I would have done it.
There's ways there. Yeah.
I would have done it. I would have come into the war room on Sunday with a temporary Tyson tattoo, done the Twitter lives or X lives, halftime chats. People would have laughed at me. And I said, look, paying off the bet. And then today for work, seeing patients, I would have taken it off. I don't know. Maybe that's weak. But I was like, I did get a little worried there.
This was good because it's like it just shows that, Doc, we're not just doing the 4 main sports. You're not pro football, Doc, just by itself. I mean, we talked about earlier. The last podcast, we've done hot dog eating contests, right? I mean,
a couple years ago,
we
had a great hot dog eating contest take on Joey Chestnut on the under because of his Achilles injury and having gained weight, and
he wasn't performing.
That was an easy winner too. So we don't always find the medical advantages, but speaking of medical advantages, an easy one yesterday was, look, I'm not a huge Bo Nix fan, but the injuries and clusters was easy to take Denver, and they cruised.
His prop was set at 211, I think it was.
I think in the first half, if I'm correct, our fantasy props calculator showed Bo Nix huge.
It showed the third best quarterback this week on the calculator. Yeah.
First half, he was 17 of 19 for 195, 90 some yards.
Yep.
And his over prop was 211, right? I mean, so that's pretty good there. Anyway,
he finished with 307 his first 300-yard game. So maybe we did know that. That's coming up, right?
Atlanta's defense. That's
Yes.
what they were suspect. I mean, the surprise was Atlanta's offense couldn't do anything. But then again, Denver had a pretty good team. And then, yeah, we had some pretty good.
Well, I want to speak on that real quick. Just our props last 2 weeks. It was 5-1 this week. We've been 11-2 the last 2 weeks. One of those was Bo Nix. So we've been really strong in the props. And then our 2-star picks have been 11-3. There's one that was the Eagles this week that you liked specifically for injuries. So
yeah, and
last week.
And I got to say kudos to you and Doug and the rest of the team on the props. I just do the health scores, and then you guys look at what makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not a handicapper per se, but I can sort of point to where the advantages
You say
are.
This guy is not going to be good off this hamstring. We give you a number, and we see how it goes. So.
Sounds good.
Next one we had, Doc. We got a benching. We did. I think we kind of saw this before the bye, but Daniel Jones is officially going to be benched. This is a little bit of an injury take. They're going to be skipping over Drew Lock to go to Tommy DeVito. New York is happy, I bet, in that sense. Tell me your thoughts on why they're benching him and why it's happened in the past.
It is 100% a football decision. I said it when they started talking about it. Guess what? Cap and salary considerations are part of the football decision. Mm-hmm. Are you telling me the Giants didn't want Saquon Barkley? It was a cap-related decision, football decision. Of course, everyone would want Saquon Barkley.
Right.
But when they figure out their cap, that was a football decision the Giants made. Jerry Jones, you don't think he wanted Derrick Henry? It was a cap decision / football decision. Daniel Jones being benched is a football decision. By the way, it's illegal to make benching and playing decisions based off strictly it has to be made on football reasons.
Okay.
That's why they say, like, for example, you can't bench someone because they're about to hit an incentive.
That would look horrible.
It looks bad within the locker room, but
no one would want to sign again in the future, right?
But you just have to make it like, this is Daniel Jones. This is a football decision. We're doing what's best for our football team. Translation: what's best for our football team is not having him injured in March and owing him more money. Remember, the cap's fixed. So, I mean, most teams spend near the cap. So it's not like the owner's trying to pocket the money. They're just trying to put a better product on the field next year and not have to waste money on debt on a player that isn't playing. Look, it happened to Jimmy G. It happened to Derek Carr. What other examples?
Russell Wilson.
It happened to Russell Wilson in Denver last year.
Yep.
Football decision, but really it was a, cap consideration, injury guarantee situation, because if you're not healthy in March, you're going to owe Daniel Jones a lot of money. So you don't want him to tear an ACL or do something silly. And he gets shelved now because of this. Now, I think the Tommy DeVito is interesting. Drew Lock's been the number 2 all year.
He's been there since the offseason, not just recently came in. Yeah.
So why Tommy DeVito? Maybe they believe he gives them the best chance to win. Or is this a tank? Just saying.
Because you're skipping over. Yeah, you're going to someone that might be better.
To be fair, Giants don't have a lot to root for right now. Who would excite the fan base more? Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito?
I'm already excited for Tommy DeVito. Yeah.
Tommy DeVito. I mean, Can we take odds on what color and how outlandish the suit is that his agent Sean Stiletto?
They showed him. Helistaro tweeted a video of him talking about it. It was like, it's you remember he's in the Italian Hall of Fame too, right? They put him in last year. No, it's just interesting. I think you're right because it's a weird decision to jump over Lock. Like they know what they have in DeVito, right? He played 4+ games last year. It's not like, we've never seen DeVito. Lock. The one thing I did see, they said DeBole's offense.
Who's DeBole?
I heard it. Dable. I didn't even need to say it. Dable. They said DeVito knows his offense more, so that's why they're going to DeVito over Lock. But I mean,
wait.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Yes, but what's the yeah exactly? No, I get it.
Is there a secret tank?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to do this. Or, I mean, at some point they have to find out, is Drew Lock any good in their system?
And that they could now, but they're skipping over for maybe, like you said, the more the excitement and fan base right now.
It's very interesting when you skip over it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the opposite happened. DTR was number 2 for one game.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson got hurt, and the Browns went back to Jameis Winston. Right.
That was odd too, because it was just one game. They moved in third, and then, like you said, the next game
he came back up.
Yeah.
Drew Lock's been 2 all year,
and
they skip over him. So, do they not believe in Drew Lock, or is this a tank, or are they going for the excitement of Tommy DeVito? Look, Brian Daboll, coach speak. He knows our offense better. He's been here longer. Doesn't denigrate Drew Lock.
Right.
It's not saying we're tanking. It's coach speak.
There's something going on. Like, they're making decisions. That's the reason why they skipped over. I want to talk about Trevor Lawrence, because that's an interesting, just to lead in. He doesn't have an injury guarantee until a couple of years down in his contract. So that's not the reason why it's going on. But is there a chance maybe they skip over Mac Jones to go to CJ Beathard, who has been in the offense for years? I know they just got him recently. Mac Jones doesn't look great. Also, like I asked you last week, what the hell is going on with the Lawrence situation? It's weird, right?
Yeah. I mean, don't know. When you don't know, look, Lawrence finished the game, played a whole half with that AC joint on the non-throwing shoulder, and has not played since. Is that part of Jacksonville's effort to tank? Is it part of Jacksonville's effort to say, okay, we don't have an injury guarantee on you. We're not worried about that. But the last thing we want is for you to head into next season with an injury and force you to play through and get hurt some other way. Because, gee, as we change regimes, we want you here for the off-season program and workouts and what have you. I don't know. Or is that part of a tank, or is that the other part of the consideration? Look, I think Doug Peterson's a good coach, but, I mean, there's lots of rumors that because they have the bye this week, is that right, Jackson?
The bye is this week, correct, yes.
Yeah, a lot of teams make a switch at the bye. I don't see Jacksonville doing that, but, I don't like to denigrate people, but it's pretty clear he's kind of dead man walking, right? I mean, it's just a matter of when, not if.
Well, the new injury too, like you said, just a quarterback injury. You have no Christian Kirk right now, broken collarbone, out for the season. The new injury I want you to talk about is Gabe Davis, who just announced out for the season with his meniscus tear. So there's a certain point too, you're going to roll Lawrence out there with no wide receivers, just Brian Thomas Jr. and, Evan Ingram. So that might lead in too, right? Just
Gabe Davis, we knew by video, wasn't an ACL. It was a non-contact injury. It's now said to be meniscus. He's going to have a trim. That's not the kind that you're going to repair. But either way, even with the trim for a wide receiver, they got 6 games left.
The tank is on, like you said.
The tank is on. There's no reason to force him back. And I don't know his contractual situation for next year, but, he's not been healthy. Right, with his PCL.
Yeah, PCL came in. You're right, exactly. Yeah,
and they want to roll into next season healthy with him, so he's done for the year, and they've now set it, and it makes sense. And that's an intriguing spot for Belichick.
A head coach, yeah, or specific. Yeah, you think him? You think he's you? If I asked you, you would say he goes out Jacksonville over Dallas in your mind, right? I guess those are two big spots. Yeah,
Bill Belichick. The landing spot for him is where it's an owner-dominant decision. He didn't go to Atlanta because Arthur Blank involved.
He asked other people,
the current GM and whatever. Even though Bill said all the right things, he didn't go to Washington because they formed a committee for the search. This is an owner-dominant decision. This is Shad Khan saying, we have all the pieces in place and players. I want to finally win. I want Bill Belichick. Or Jerry Jones to say, hey, I've got the pieces in place, and I'm going to set my ego aside and get the Cowboys to the playoffs and potentially a Super Bowl. Belichick. It needs to be a owner-dominant decision. Could the owner-dominant decision happen in Chicago? I don't know. I mean,
we've heard that's a little rumored spot too. Yeah. Eberflus. Yeah.
Who knows? But it has to be a decision made saying an owner, I want to see this happen. It can't be through the management. So Jacksonville's a possibility.
Speaking of the Cowboys too, they play tonight against Houston. 2 big wide receivers, injury news. Your thoughts on Nico Collins tonight coming back from his hamstring? And then CeeDee Lamb popped up on the report with a back injury, listed as questionable. Sources are telling we saw on Twitter that he is likely to play?
They're both playing. CeeDee Lamb's tough. He's played through his AC joint. Back injury isn't going to stop him. CeeDee Lamb is tough. I have to give him that. He might be a little sensitive to the sun. Joke. There won't be any sun tonight, so he'll be all right.
He'll be better. Yeah.
Joke. It's okay. He's fine. And Nico Collins is 100%. He could have played last week, is my strong belief. They were just being safe with him.
From a betting standpoint, Doc, we've looked at his numbers. They have him up like he's going to play full snaps and be effective, and that's kind of what you're also believing as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got a couple big defensive injuries that's happened. Let's talk first with the Detroit Lions. One of their top tacklers, Jack Campbell, and him are tied. Alex Anzalone. What did you see on his fracture? And you might think maybe sooner rather than later for him.
It looked like a forearm fracture, a radius shaft fracture. Did not believe his ulna's broken. Likely, he's going to have surgery, a plate. Okay. And people have already said 6 to 8 weeks. I think he can play sooner. I've gotten forearm fractures back sooner. Remember Thomas Davis, both bone forearm fracture ahead of Super Bowl 50 in San Francisco, Panthers versus the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
And he played in 2 weeks. Remember the gruesome pictures and his arm, the whole thing. And then we said that at the time, NFC Championship game, he'll play in 2 weeks. It's the Super Bowl in a cast. Anzalone won't be rushed back like that. And I think it's possible that he could play this regular season. But are the Lions going to have a meaningful Week 18 game or a meaningful Week 17 game? Not sure they will.
Mm-hmm.
They may be on a rest of starters then. We'll see.
And then they would wait till the bye, like the playoff bye, and then put him,
For sure, playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
As sure as I am that Aiden Hutchinson is done for the season, including if Detroit Lions make the Super Bowl. I'm that certain Alex Anzalone plays this season again, period. Now, situationally, is it regular season or postseason playoffs? He is returning.
You did like a good news, bad news thing in there. You're like, you're gonna get Anzalone, but
we got Z Smith.
Yeah.
That's not horrible. That's a good move.
I wanted to mention too. Remember Teron Johnson from the Bills, All-Pro nickelback corner. He had a forearm fracture this year. Only missed week 2 to week 5, 4 weeks. So that's less than 6 to 8. I don't know. We're obviously not trying to compare both fractures. It could be different, but that's already showing that could be less than 6 to 8, right? Another big injury, obviously, Nick Bosa came into with a hip oblique injury. He said when he had a sack during the game that he overcompensated, and now his other side oblique is hurt. Your thoughts on how he can play through if not?
I'm not sure if it's oblique or hip flexor, but either way, what's in a name? It's a soft tissue core type injury. Not good. He lines up predominantly on the left side, outer side. This is left side. He says the right is still bothering him, and now he's got both sides. He's destined to rest. And let me tell you something. SIC Picks is another one. I know our guy Craig hated it because he's
a Niner fan.
Niner fan. We're like 6.5 to Seattle's good. Admittedly, we weren't brave enough to take money line, but the injuries showed it. And think about this. This is before Nick Bosa was out.
Mm-hmm.
Before Nick Bosa was out, their best guy on the D-line, Javon Hargrave, out for the season. Linebacker, they've got Fred Warner still, which is great. But Dre Greenlaw still hasn't come back from his Achilles. Mm-hmm. So that's 2 of their top players.
Different level of defense too as well. Yep.
And then God bless Javarius Ward in his personal tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3. Josh Hafunga, safety, although the backup has played well.
Mustafa's been playing well. Yeah.
That's 4. Then you add in Nick Bosa.
Mm-hmm.
Name a defense that can survive 5 top starters. Not the best, because Fred Warner is probably one of the top.
We talked about the Falcons. They didn't have 7 starters, but it was 7 people that contribute a lot. And
it wasn't missing 7 starters, but even just 7 in the defensive rotation is big. These are 5 of, you could argue 5 of their top 6 players.
Right.
Arguably out. And they've done a good job replacing, with Mustafa and what have you, but we're not shocked that Seattle upset them, especially when Nick Bosa exited.
And you're getting 6.5. That seems like a number you give a healthy Niners team, right? Yeah. So we took advantage of that. The Browns have been dealing with injuries all year, right? Offensive line to start. Then you had Deshaun Watson. We had a rookie last year, Dawand Jones. He played so well for Jack Conklin last year. He's been playing back right tackle when Conklin was hurt to start the year. They moved him to left tackle because Jedrick Wills hasn't played well and he's dealing with his knee issue. Tell me what you saw with his injury, Dawand Jones, out for the season.
Well, I'll admit, in game, when you guys showed me the video and where all these things going, I was, oh, that's a high ankle injury. He's out. Looking at it more closely, you could see it's the worst kind of high ankle injury with a fracture. So you tear the syndesmotic ligament, and if it keeps going, you break the fibula, which is an ankle fracture. So he's going to have surgery. He's done for the year. Probably could have done a better job evaluating that. But, in game with 8 games going on, is he in or out? Oh, he's out. It's the high ankle.
Mm-hmm.
It is a high ankle.
He got carded as well.
It's the most severe form of high ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Jedrick Wills is not 100%. He's in and out always with his knee, but he might get pressed into service. Short week Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
You get pressed into service here.
Big tight end injuries I want to talk through, Doc. Dalton Kincaid, he didn't play this week. He has a bye. Do you expect him to come back from the MCL week 13? Excuse me.
No, because it's a PCL.
Okay, not an MCL. Yes, PCL worse. Obviously, we talked about Gabe Davis and Puka, right? So yes, my fault.
A chance, not guaranteed.
Okay.
After the bye, I think he's not going to be put on injured reserve. Well, he already wasn't, so they're not looking towards that. Yeah. Yeah. So he's back this regular season, maybe not right after the bye, and that was another not bad call.
You can talk about that. Because we didn't really hit them too hard with Kincaid because we have value in Dawson Knox, right?
Yes.
So now that was a good one too. -2. That was an easy one. And we looked at that too because we're looking at the Chiefs, not really looking to the loss doesn't hurt them too much. And you looked at the Bills, how they needed that game to stay alive.
The Bills needed that game because guess what? They are now 9-2. The Chiefs are 9-1. They're a half game back. And the Bills have the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose that game, they're 3 games back without the tiebreaker. They would not have a chance of hosting.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills are trying to break through. They're like, we got to beat KC in the playoffs.
Division's won already. They're looking past.
They won the division. Yes, they're like, we got to advance in the playoffs. And how are we going to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? We need to play them in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't worked playing them in Kansas City. So that's why that game was so important to them. And the Chiefs, their focus is on making history. And history is not being undefeated.
Winning 3 straight. Yeah.
3 straight Super Bowls, what's never been done.
Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins did the undefeated season, although not at 17 games.
I love how they still post pictures, though. I saw a picture, the Miami Dolphins post a picture of like Larry Zonka drinking, get excited that they still, every year you see like a picture, one of the guys from the team. So hold on.
Let the old guys have
right?
something. It's fine.
Yeah. Next tight end, Doc. Sam LaPorta missed week 11 due to a shoulder injury. Your thoughts on him? He will be playing this week against the Colts.
AC joint. I mean, if it were playoffs, I guarantee he's playing. It's not playoffs. The Lions have earned the right
to play games with the roster and wait and see kind of thing.
Yeah, get guys fully healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, they've earned that right. Not calling LaPorta soft. I'm just saying it's part of the decision-making process.
Yeah, those Iowa tight ends, I feel like, they're opposite for sure of soft. Another one, George Kittle with his hamstring tightness, he picked up within the practice time. He missed this week. Your thoughts, chance that he plays through this week?
Well, you're going to the Iowa tight ends. You know who's the agent specialist for Iowa tight ends?
Who
lives in town here? Jack Bicht.
Really?
Kittle's agent.
Noah Fant is I don't know if he has Noah Fant. Is there every single? They're all good.
They're all good. Anyways, shout out to Jack.
There you go.
Anyways, Kittle always wants to play through, but when it's a Thursday hamstring and it's described as just tightness.
Yep.
Look, if it's actually a strain, it's a no-go this week too. But if it's just tightness, maybe. I mean, we'll have to see.
Next, I got 2 fantasy relevant running backs that have a potential to return week 12. One we've been low on all year. The Panthers rookie running back Jonathan Brooks. They're saying he's going to try to play week 12. along with Adam Thielen returning. Your thoughts on what he's going to be able to do in these next 7 weeks?
Get used to the speed of the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean,
expectations should be low, right?
I think his spot play. I mean, it's still Chuba Hubbard, right?
Yep. And Miles Sanders is out though, so it does open the door up for more opportunities, but it might be a Hubbard to be a bell cow. Yeah. And then,
if I were saying touches, it's probably somewhere around 70-30, 80-20 Hubbard.
And then the goal line touchdown. Remember, we still have that under 4.5. We gotta sit and watch that because there was no yardage prop. I had to hit it some way. You tell me he's the lowest 6 scorer of the year. We gotta figure out how to.
Well, I mean, so they got 6 games left.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, unless they just start feeding them.
Get a multi-touchdown game. We start,
We're good.
Next one is Isiah Pacheco. This is the same game, Chiefs versus Carolina. He's expected to return week 12. Your thoughts? He might not be necessarily the number one for the next couple weeks, I'd say, right?
Who said he's expected to return week 12?
I had reports. Let me see. He has a chance to return. I wouldn't say it's 100%. I'm gonna change my wording on that.
Yeah.
Because we had it more towards December, right? That's what you think.
I said from the get-go, I thought it would be December. When in December is a question mark. This is why I'm going to stick to it. He's not back week 12 because it's still November. Week 13 is when?
Week December 13, 1. Yes, right on December. You're already good on the CMC. We got the November. So, yeah, that's that. No, that's like you said, if there's a book that has return dates for injury players, I would definitely put a limit on the Chao account for sure, Doc. Next one, I had a couple injuries that happened.
I'd be considered a sharp, maybe.
Yeah, you would. That's why I got to limit your account. Exactly. Lad McConkey last night, big win for them against the Bengals. Suffered what you said, maybe a minor AC joint injury. He did return, played well. You're expecting no missed time for him, right?
Yeah, he'll play through. He's tough.
Yeah.
He's a bulldog.
Yes, yes, Georgia. Yeah, I know. For Doug here, Jaire Alexander, we're always worried about when he's out, it hurts their secondary a lot. He tried to play through. He didn't finish the game. What's your thoughts on the big game against the Niners this week?
We do not know what the specific injury for Jaire Alexander is. It's been lingering, but I can tell you this. It's not good when a player returns and then exits without more visual, obvious injury. The reason for that is because the phone going off is because with the aggravation in game where if you make it back and you don't make it through,
why would you do that again?
How are we going to trust you the next time? Not in a bad way, but things have been leaning with Jaire enough that it wouldn't shock me if we heard about go take 4 to 6 weeks, go do a knee scope and come back for the playoffs and assure some health. I'm just throwing it out there. This is why I'm pessimistic on Jaire next week. Wouldn't surprise me if they took that route.
Because from a team, you don't want to have a game plan set up.
You can't be in, out. And the coach's biggest pet peeve is to start a game short a man. I mean, it's one thing if a new injury happens in a game, it happens, but roster spots are valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And to start a game and then not sure they're going to finish, that's tough, even if you're the number one guy.
We have a shorter list this week, but I have two just from last night. Dax Hill for the Bengals, their number 2 corners, out for the season with a ACL. And now you saw DJ Turner, he's going to be out the season for his collarbone. Big loss for them, pass defense.
Yeah, likely surgery. It's not done.
Yeah.
If the Bengals stay alive, he could come back. I've had a running back return at 4 weeks.
Okay.
If the Bengals stay relevant and alive, I'm glad Jim Harbaugh has the Chargers not charging.
He does. That's the first thing he eliminated that part, right? Yeah.
I mean, they pulled it out in the end, although it didn't look good there for a little bit. I mean, look, if McPherson hits 2 field goals,
yeah, you get the 2,
or even 1 field goal, who knows? a different.
My thing is like, definitely, if you're ever watching this, you should always be on our preseason preview that we do beginning of the year. Your first thing was, like, you remember we said, is that what can Brown do for you? That's what's happening, right? Because their offense is fine. You have Burrow's elite stats right now, but they're 4-7 for a reason, right?
The O-line has been not real good for the Bengals, right? The Chargers, even without Khalil Mack, with Bosa, Bud Dupree, Poona Ford, and there was that new kid that they got.
Oh, I can't say his name. Yeah, but yeah,
that's why I threw it to you.
He had 1.5 sacks last night.
That's why I threw it to
good.
you. I wasn't gonna try. He's good. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
love Jim Harbaugh, but like
Tio Peluto.
Yeah,
that's my best effort. Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
All right, Doc, I'm going to wrap it up. I do have 2 Beast of the Week videos. You retweeted both, so you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
First one is that Louisiana volleyball senior coming back from the ACL tear. That's big. You were talking about how you've had people that have returned from an ACL tear, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. She came in and delivered a game-winning service winner in an upset victory. She was in a big knee brace and she really couldn't do much beyond serve, but that's good. Look, when I started helping college athletes and or high school athletes, being with the San Diego Sports Medicine Foundation, the free surgeries or what have you, at first the focus was, hey, and this is true, I'm allowed to talk about it, he's waived HIPAA. We took care of Reggie Bush in high school. As part of the free clinics and what have you. And as great as it is to help Reggie Bush, that kid's going on to more greatness. So over time, it became more special to me to help the kid who high school is going to be the last of his memories.
Okay.
Like if you're really good, look,
that's interesting.
We did surgery, high school senior year, commit to Utah, Darrell Mack. We did free surgery on him. I can talk about this. He's waived HIPAA.
Okay.
He went on to Utah, and I hope I don't get this wrong. In a freshman year, Utah still honored the commitment, and they won a BCS game. Sorry, the first year, I take it back, he won. Utah came to the Holiday Bowl and they won. And his subsequent in his career, I think as a junior, he helped him win a BCS game against, I forget who, but it was one of the big bowl games, Utah. And a lot
Navy.
of
Sorry, I got his stuff for you. Yeah, in 2007, he led him to a bowl game against Navy and won. Yeah,
that would have been the Holiday Bowl. And then the next year, I think there was a BCS game that Utah won. But anyways,
he was in the Sugar Bowl in 2008 against Alabama.
BCS game.
Yes, there you go.
I wanted to say Alabama.
You're right.
I wanted to say Alabama.
I was waiting for you to say. I was just like making sure
I
you were
wanted
on
to say
it.
Alabama, and I wanted to say Sugar Bowl, but I wasn't sure. I don't remember the dates and ages. I'm getting old here. But anyways, my point is that kid, as nice as it was to help him, he was going to go on to play more football. And that's nice. But to help a kid, so one of the memories I said is this kid, Carlsbad High School senior year, early in the season, tore his ACL, fixed him. He wasn't 100%, but on senior day, he was on long snapper.
Okay.
I mean, it's memories.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
like, and to this day, his dad and actually the son, he's grown up with a family now. We're still friends. I saw him at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. They were at Circa, and I saw them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, they still live in town here, but it's like memories and so forth. So I'm all for this.
I don't know if your kids saw the new Inside Out 2 movie, but I always, when they did that, I remember they did the core memories, and like that's key for them. That's why they always remember you and your friends. That's a core memory for him for his whole life.
I can't tell you all the people who. One of my best friends called me and said, I still remember my little league home run. So good for Davis, you know? I mean,
that's
kind
great.
of thing. So yeah, the core memories. I mean, okay, he went out, he was a long snapper, but he played.
Oh, he'll, like you said, remember that.
Yeah, I mean, and so I love that.
Yeah, and you're continuing to do that. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And otherwise.
The one the second one I sent you this morning is the kid at doing the Breeders' Cup thing. That I thought he was going to fall so many times. Like, he did a great job.
Do you know how hard that is?
Excuse me. No, you're right.
Wait. just from the snap. Okay, first of all,
I can put it here for you guys. Yeah. There you
yeah,
go. Yeah. Look at him standing on the exercise ball, right?
on a trampoline thing, but more importantly, he mounts, he jumps up on it. That's so much core strength. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Try and do that on a half Bosu ball. Forget the full thing there.
Yeah.
And then the other most impressive thing about this kid, besides he's in good form and does it the whole time, I guess it pays to be young. Do you see he goes to the right hand whip and then the left hand whip?
Yep. He's switching what he sees. Yeah.
That's balance
Yeah.
and so forth. And that's a lot of core strength. I mean, do not try that at home.
Yeah.
You will fall off and hurt yourself.
Yes. Because when you jump, you have to land directly in the middle without it moving. Yeah.
Doug's Mr. Workout guy and core and
water bottle to work kind of thing.
F45 or whatever you do. Could you do that, Doug?
Like you said, the beauty of being young, right?
Oh, that was impressive.
That was the beast of the week I had. Yeah, those two. Yeah.
Oh, that kid.
Yeah.
His problem is he's got a future in that as long as he doesn't grow.
I mean, the thing is in Del Mar this year, so I gotta invite him over, right? Go to the Breeders' Cup this year, right?
No, Breeders' Cup just passed.
You know, they had 2 straight years at Del Mar.
Oh, another
it's
one.
It's unheard of. No, I know.
Oh,
I thought
know
it too.
that.
Yeah, it's in 2025 is at Del Mar too, so we gotta invite him over. That's what he. But all right, Doc, that's all I had. Anything else plug or you want to talk about real quick?
No, looking forward to, heart of the season, right? Week 12 now.
Yes.
Dog days of the season. Playoff race is shaping up, and a lot more football and sports. I know, look, college basketball's here.
Yep.
San Diego State is a big Gonzaga game.
Big game tonight. Yep.
For me, I still got baseball season. Son,
it's the overlap. The big overlap.
He's got a Thanksgiving tournament.
Now he's got to follow up. He's got to hit home runs in back-to-back games now. That's the next thing.
Yeah.
Streak it. Yep.
Yeah. No. Good. He's worked hard.
Yep.
So good for him. All right. Thanks for watching and listening. Go to, I'll tease it here.
Yeah.
Tonight, launching the new website, SICscore.com. Doug's been working hard on it and the team. New look, new website. Launching tonight. Check it out. Sports Injury Central, SICscore.com. Still have the field views on there. Check that out. SIC data, SIC picks. Check it all out. But it's a new site. And I'm proud to say I've completely trusted the team on the new site. I have yet to even see it. I'm waiting to unwrap at Christmas time because they didn't need another cook in the kitchen to say, do it this way, do it that way. And so I'm going to unwrap the present with all of you.
Yes.
That's going live sometime tonight, certainly by tomorrow morning.
Absolutely.
Okay. And Monday Night Football, Houston against the Dallas Cowboys. It should be interesting. Cooper Rush still. Why do you think Trey Lance doesn't get a sniff?
I don't know. They spent a 2nd-round pick on him. I think they should. The only thing they're doing is they're giving him packages and stuff like he's Justin Fields. I would like to see him throw a little bit, but
speaking of Justin Fields, I've said this forever.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh should insert Justin Fields for certain situations. Apparently, goal line is where he's good, right? In red zone.
You do the little, and they can go the outside, yeah.
I remember, I'm old enough to remember when you only had one running back and everyone else was the backup. And the running back stayed in for all 3 downs or 4 downs or whatever it is.
Did LT do that? LaDainian did have it.
In the beginning, he did.
Yeah.
When in the first part of his career, when he was drafted, every back in the league across the country, all 32 teams, was one back and he was a starter. And the argument would be, that's how you get a feel of the game, and you don't want to pull him out.
Yeah,
he's the best player.
Yeah.
But then it became especially 3rd down backs, and then rotational and whatever. And then, offensive line is still that way. Defensive lines rotate. This is the pass rush specialist. That linebackers rotate. DBs do sometimes. I never understood why the quarterback position was sacrosanct. I didn't understand it.
It used to be looked at like bad. If you had 2 quarterbacks and you used both, that was not good.
I mean, at one point, we had Drew Brees and Doug Flutie. Who would you rather have on a 2-point conversion, Drew Brees or Doug Flutie?
Flutie, he can just go to the outside and you wouldn't even know.
Who would you rather have on 3rd and 10?
Yeah, you want to throw. Yeah, you need to throw.
Well,
Yeah.
why couldn't you situationally use those guys?
Is that the flow thing too? Specifically
And
quarterbacks?
in the old days, it was a big deal because the quarterbacks called all the plays.
Yes. Yeah.
They never do anymore. It's radioed in. So
the guy has the same intercom on the sidelines.
Yeah. So I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Look, I thought back in the day when the Patriots signed Tim Tebow, they were headed to do that because I thought Belichick would be brave enough to do that. Specialty packages, certain situations. Look, New Orleans does it a little bit. Taysom Hill.
I wanted to bring that up. Gruden, when he signed Mariota with Derek Carr, he wanted to do that. Because Mariota was great at those outside runs, but that sometimes I guess I don't know. You fight through, and maybe Derek Carr doesn't want to share, like he doesn't, wants to be out there full time. I don't know.
Well, look, you crushed DFS this week by taking Taysom Hill. I mean, Taysom Hill. Yeah, I mean that there's clearly situations Taysom Hill's preferred to take the snap. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I'd love to see that for Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin. And the other thing I love about Mike Tomlin, even his comments this morning, I haven't watched any game film. Don't ask me about Sunday's game. I'm on to Thursday preparation.
Yep, I love that. He's so locked in all the time.
That's
awesome.
That's what it should be. Why you don't have time to look back. You got to get ready for Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching and listening. Sports in Your Central Pro Football Doc podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying the live format. Any other questions that we missed and before we close out?
Anything from other uniforms, Doug?
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.